Unprepared isn't scripted or edited. There are no redos, and when we screw up, it's going live. This works for our show, but it is no way to run your e-commerce business. Our partner Rewind is here to help. They will help you back up your Shopify store with automated backups of your most important data. Rewind should be the first app you install on your store to protect it from human error, misbehaving apps, or collaborators gone bad. It's like having your very own magic undo button. It's trusted by over 70,000 retailers, from side hustles to the biggest online stores like Gymshark, Gatorade, and Movement Watches. Best of all, if you reply to any of their welcome series and mention Unprepared, you can get your first month free. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Unprepared. This is the most unprepared episode of Unprepared. Welcoming to the show, my lovely friend Kelly from the Tap Room. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So we jumped on the call and we said, well, first of all, her event invite had just nonsensical stuff in it. So we didn't have anything prepared, but we came up with the idea of talking about upsells and cross sells. We can also talk about downsells, post-purchase, and we kind of just get into that. But most importantly, it's, I guess, why is this important if I'm a store owner?
Yeah, I mean, you want to be increasing your average order value, you want to be increasing your customer lifetime value. And if you're just pushing one product to them and being like, okay, cool, have fun, go buy this and then go do something else, you're not really going to be finding opportunities to grow. You know, if your customers are only aware of one single product in your store and they don't know that you have other awesome, really great complementary products or upgrade options available, I mean, you have to educate them if you want them to actually buy them.
But Kelly, I only have one product. I have this lead flagship product, this widget, number one widget at what it does. Like, that's all I have. So how can I do this?
You need to find additional things to sell.
I could also probably do some, you can do bundling. That's another great way to do it.
Well, yes, if buying more widgets makes sense. If it's like a one-time use product or it's going to last you for 3 years and it never breaks, then you got to sell something else.
I've also seen someone do it really, really well. It was like a very expensive fitness equipment thing. Well, by very expensive.
Is it called a Peloton?
No, it was a couple $100. Well, if they did this, it'd be hilarious because it'd be the best gift ever. But it was like, buy one for a friend for 50% off. And I was like, whoa.
That'd be great.
I was like, that's a great upsell there. Because, you know, they were losing their butts on shipping already because it was free shipping. And I was like, yeah, this probably makes sense when you're thinking about it. You're still paying the freight cost, adding another one to it to give it away. Like, you're still net positive at that point.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great idea. And that usually takes place post-purchase after they already committed to buying one. Really handy to use like one of those post-purchase upsell apps like One Click Upsell or Zipify or one of the other ones that does it. I forget.
I've been following one lately, post-purchase promotions.
Oh, yeah.
He built that during the Shopify like app contest or whatever they did a few months back.
I got honorable mention and then never released my app.
You're insane. You need to just put that out there.
It's trashed. It's gone now.
It's in the recycle bin?
It is in the recycle bin. I archived it.
Gotcha. Okay, so back to like, why do I want to increase my AOV? It's one of 3 KPIs that matter, and e-commerce is math. So
yeah.
you've got your conversion rate, your traffic, and your average order value. And anytime you can increase your average order value, it's going to increase how much money you make a month without you doing anything else. So if your traffic stays the same, your conversion rate stays the exact same, you can bring your average order value up. You've just invented money out of thin air.
It's also important to note that it is more expensive to acquire a new customer than it is to upsell to an existing customer.
Absolutely. And it goes into kind of like my favorite topic, which is I hate anyone that is pumping all of their money into Facebook ads for growth, because now you're like really risking your margin and you're really risking like how fast you can grow. And if you can sell more products to the same customer that you've acquired, that's better. And if you can raise your average order value on that first product sale, like you've just increased your margin, you've increased your return, which is what everyone cares about with Facebook ads. So if you're talking about, I talked to a guy on Monday or Tuesday, and he was like, we need help with Facebook ads. But what he said that I really loved was he was like, I understand that Facebook advertising and your conversion rate doesn't exist in a bubble, and there's a lot more to it. And I was like, awesome.
Can there be more of you?
I was like, you just saved me like 10 minutes of explaining that like your goal requires like all this other stuff involved.
That's great. Yeah. Honestly, when it comes to Facebook ads, I don't know anything. I attempted to run Facebook ads for my own store, and I'm going through the process of selling it now, actually. And I calculated out what my margin is with and without spending money on Facebook ads, and I dropped my margin by like 10%. Or I dropped it a full 10% down, I should say.
Yeah, they are pretty pricey. And then especially today, 2 days ago, they released the update that it goes in line with iOS. So it's just like insanity if you aren't kind of seasoned. There, you have to do some tricky stuff to see if what you're doing is working right now. And that has been
This is why you should hire an agency like Electric Eye to help you out with this.
Ryan has been on top of it. He's been running all that stuff and just telling us and the clients to be calm. You know what I mean? As like the figurehead here, I'm just like, we know what we're doing, right? And he's like, yeah, it's fine.
Good, because I'm telling people we know what we're doing. Exactly. But no, we should get back to the topic of cross sells versus upsells, because I think this is one of the most a lot of people get this wrong. So there's a difference between a cross sell and an upsell, and most likely you're seeing cross sells, you're not usually seeing upsells. So let me just provide an example of which one's which. Upsell. Let's say I'm buying a pound of coffee and I add that pound of coffee to my cart, and you're like, Kelly, we know you're going to go through this coffee really fast. Why didn't you buy 5 pounds of coffee? And then I say, oh, okay, cool. And then it removes the 1 pound of coffee out of my cart, and then it adds the 5 pound coffee bag. So you have just upsold me to a more expensive item. Now, cross sells are like, hey, you added this 1 pound of coffee to the cart. Why don't you add creamer? You don't use creamer. Why don't you add, you need this new mug, because obviously you need branded mugs. So let's upsell you with, or let's cross sell you. I did it myself. Let's cross sell you with this mug. So you increase your average order value, and it doesn't actually change the fact that you're buying coffee, but now you're getting something else as well.
Absolutely. And those are it. People, I think, oftentimes get scared when they have like a larger product catalog, especially like say in like fashion or any sort of like accessories ecosystem. They're like, well, I've got 100 different things, and it'd be so hard to be recommending this, that, and the stop. Just pick your like 5 most popular products and just logically think about it after that.
There are also reports for this, like even within Shopify, people who buy this product also tend to add these products to their cart as well. So you can get this information available to you already. The other thing you can do is, especially for apparel or selling accessories, the shop the look kind of situation. So if I add this shirt, or I see, this model is wearing this shirt, these pants, and these earrings. You can upsell, or you can add as like a potential cross sell item to the cart or to the product page itself. To buy that entire look.
Yeah, let's be real. I don't know how to dress myself. I'm a sucker for all that stuff. I say add it all.
I've been wearing the same. Yeah, I've been wearing the same Viore joggers since March last year. So I'm full in on athleisure. Just dress me, please.
Absolutely. And then I guess before we kind of go here, I do want to bring up post-purchase upsells because they're insanely cool. So we're recording this in January 2021. Shopify opened up their most secure element of their brand finally to developers, so you can now developers have access to checkout, so they can put apps in checkout. And the reason that this is super important is any app previously actually was cloning the checkout experience if you weren't kind of in the know, so it actually wasn't Shopify. So anytime you're doing like a post-purchase checkout or like upsell or subscriptions, it was actually a secondary checkout. But now everything's going to be in Shopify, so everything will play nice. But just the power of offering something to someone after they've given you the credit card is insane.
It's so great, and it's so easy to be like literally one click. Oh yes, I do need these. I do need this mug. Didn't realize I needed it, and now you can actually switch it out. And Shopify allows order editing up to 60 days after an order has been placed, so it's not like it has to either be immediate as well. You can literally follow up via email with, "Hey, we know you purchased this, 5 days ago. Maybe it has a longer lead time, so things don't ship immediately." You can use that lead time as an opportunity to sell more to them and get that average order value up.
Yeah, like, so here's a perfect example. They buy, let's go back to the idea of buying, lifestyle equipment, like working out stuff. Yeah, I'm really good at that because I don't even know what they're called.
Let's use the example of a Peloton, because it's literally a 6-week, 8-week, 10-week lead time.
Yeah, okay, so you buy a Peloton, and then you get an email when your Peloton finally shows up, and they're like, you know what, you probably should have bought this very specific accessory.
Like the shoes that you have to use for theirs unless you switch out the pedals. Yeah. There you go.
So if you didn't buy the shoes, it's like, now you want the shoes, right? And then it's, they just upsold you post-purchase, which is technically not increasing the average order value. That's technically increasing the lifetime value.
It edits the same order, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Peloton on Shopify?
No. The Shopify, their apparel store is.
Okay.
But Peloton itself is not.
That's a weird user experience. I don't know why it wouldn't be the same
You
thing.
know what? I can go on a whole 10-minute talk about why Peloton's not capitalizing on their cult following and expanding their apparel offering and really pushing it, because they wear their own Peloton apparel. All the instructors are wearing their own Peloton apparel that should be pushed more, and it's not.
Well, it's also like, why? So I have to log into the thing, and why not sell me T-shirts while I'm there? Like, it should be the same login for both.
One would think. I mean, technically you could.
Having two different logins is like the number one no-no ever.
Yeah.
Like, I preach about this so much when I'm talking to people that like have, you know, a more content driven or like B2B side of their business, and then it's like, oh, and then there's this random store that actually is doing well. It's like, okay, well, it's such a like jolting user experience if there's two logins that I have to keep track of.
If you're on Shopify Plus, this means you need to be using multipass.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, I think the conversation went off the rails, which I knew was going to happen. But me and Kelly will do this quite often, so don't worry.
That's right.
We'll have her back in a couple of weeks to chat about stuff. Kelly, what are you up to? Where do you want to direct people if they are picking up what you're putting down?
Yeah, so you can find the Taproom at thetaproom.com. You can find me on Twitter at KVLLY. You can find, you don't really need to find the Taproom on Twitter. You can find it at Taproom Agency, but it's usually me tweeting, so follow me instead.
Kelly is a hilarious one on Twitter, so I recommend pressing that follow button. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks.